Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve extraordinary success while others work just as hard but never break through? The difference often isn't talent, luck, or even education. It's something deeper: the way they think, decide, and act. It's called the 1% mindset. The 1% mindset is not about being richer, smarter, or born into the right family. It's about a set of beliefs and habits that the most successful people live by every single day. These are the people who see opportunities where others see problems, who keep going when everyone else gives up, and who make decisions today that will pay off for decades to come. And here's the truth: you don't have to be in the 1% yet to start thinking like them. In fact, the mindset comes first, and the success follows. When you start thinking and acting like the 1%, you begin to attract the results, the opportunities, and the financial freedom that most people only dream about. In this video, I'm going to share with you the key principles of the 1% mindset and how you can start applying them right now, no matter where you're starting from. I'll give you practical examples, inspiring stories, and actionable steps that you can take immediately to shift your thinking and upgrade your life. So if you're ready to think bigger, act bolder, and move faster toward your goals, hit the like button, subscribe to Draw My Money, and let's dive in, because your journey to the 1% mindset starts today. 1. Take full responsibility for your life. The first and most powerful trait of the 1% mindset is complete ownership. People in the 1% don't waste time blaming the economy, their boss, their upbringing, or bad luck for their situation. They know that as long as they give power to external circumstances, they are powerless to change their lives. Instead, they take full responsibility for where they are and where they want to go. Taking full responsibility doesn't mean everything that happens is your fault. It means you accept that it's your job to respond and take action. If your business isn't making money, you don't blame the market. You look for ways to improve your offer, reach new customers, or learn new skills. If you're not happy with your health, you don't point fingers at genetics. You adjust your diet, exercise routine, and lifestyle choices. The 1% understand that the moment you stop blaming and start owning your results, you regain control over your future. It's not always comfortable, but it's always empowering. This mindset transforms every setback into a lesson and every obstacle into an opportunity to grow stronger. Draw My Money tip. The moment you take full ownership of your life is the moment you unlock your true power to change it. Once you take responsibility, the next principle of the 1% mindset is all about clarity, knowing exactly where you're going and why. Without that, even the best effort will scatter in too many directions. 2. Have absolute clarity on your goals. The top 1% do not drift through life hoping something good will happen. They operate with precision, knowing exactly what they want, why they want it, and how they intend to get it. This level of clarity is not just a nice motivational concept. It's a tool they use daily to make decisions, filter opportunities, and stay on course even when things get difficult. Think about it. Most people start their day without a plan. They wake up, check their phone, react to emails, and respond to whatever problems come their way. The 1% start with intention. They know exactly what their ultimate goal is and what steps they need to take that day to get closer to it. Their clarity acts like a compass. No matter how many distractions or obstacles appear, they can adjust and keep moving toward their destination. Here's the truth: vague goals produce vague results. Saying, "I want to be successful" is too general. Success for one person could mean owning $1 million company. For another, it could mean traveling the world debt-free. The 1% don't leave it to chance. They define success in measurable, specific terms. If your goal is financial, don't just say, "I want to be rich." Instead, say, "I want to earn $150,000 a year through an online business that helps small companies improve their marketing." That statement gives you a clear target and a direction for your actions. From there, you can break the goal into smaller milestones, reaching $10,000 in revenue, then $50,000, and so on. Another advantage of clarity is that it helps you say no more easily. When you know exactly what you're working toward, it's easier to turn down distractions, whether that's a side project that doesn't align with your vision, or a social event that pulls you away from your priorities. The 1% understand that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that truly matters. And clarity isn't just about the numbers or achievements. It's also about the why. Why do you want that income, that lifestyle, that level of freedom? Your why is the emotional fuel that will keep you moving when your motivation fades. Without a strong reason, it's easy to quit at the first sign of difficulty. Principle 3. Value and master your time. If there's one thing that separates the top 1% from the rest, it's how they treat their time. Most people think money is their most valuable resource, but the truly successful know that time is even more precious, because you can always make more money, but you can never make more time. The average person spends hours each day scrolling through social media, binge watching shows, or getting lost in tasks that don't move them closer to their goals. The 1% treat their hours like gold bars. They invest them intentionally and refuse to waste them on things that don't create value. Think about it this way. Every hour of your life has a value tag. If your goal is to earn $100,000 a year, your time is worth about $50 an hour. The question is, are you spending each hour in a way that reflects that value? The 1% constantly ask themselves, is this the best use of my time right now? If the answer is no, they either delegate the task, automate it, or remove it altogether. For example, instead of spending 3 hours figuring out how to design a logo, they'll pay a freelancer to do it in one day, freeing up their time to focus on higher value activities like finding clients, creating products, or building partnerships. This isn't laziness, it's strategic. They understand the concept of opportunity cost, the hidden price you pay when you spend your time on something that doesn't move you forward. Mastering your time also means controlling your environment. The 1% set boundaries to protect their focus. They turn off unnecessary notifications, schedule specific blocks for deep work, and prioritize tasks that directly impact their goals. They don't try to do it all. They focus on doing what matters most. And here's something important. Valuing your time is not just about work. The 1% also prioritize rest, exercise, learning, and spending time with the people they care about, because they know these things fuel their energy, creativity, and long-term performance. Draw my money tip. If you don't control your time, someone else will, and they'll use it to achieve their goals, not yours. Once you've mastered your time, the next principle of the 1% mindset is about fueling your mind, because what you put into your brain will determine what you can create in your life. 4. Feed your mind with quality input. The 1% understand a simple truth. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, you'll grow weeds. If you plant seeds of knowledge, inspiration, and strategy, you'll grow success. That's why they are extremely intentional about what they read, watch, listen to, and who they surround themselves with. Most people let random information flood their minds. Endless news cycles filled with negativity, social media drama, or gossip from people who have no real impact on their lives. The 1% filter all of that out. They choose content that feeds their goals, not their fears. They read books on business, investing, psychology, and leadership. They listen to podcasts that teach them skills, not ones that waste their time. They watch videos that inspire action, not ones that encourage procrastination. There's a reason many of the world's most successful people read for at least 30 minutes a day. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men alive, once said he spends about 5 to 6 hours reading every single day. Bill Gates is known for devouring about 50 books a year. This isn't a coincidence, it's a strategy. They know that what you feed your mind today will shape your decisions tomorrow. It's not just about learning new skills, it's about reinforcing the right mindset. The 1% understand that staying motivated and focused in a world full of distractions requires daily mental conditioning. They fill their environment with reminders of their goals, vision boards, affirmations, and mentors who challenge them to think bigger. 5. Act decisively and without fear. One of the most noticeable differences between the 1% and the rest of the world is speed. Not in how fast they run or how quickly they speak, but in how quickly they make decisions and take action. While most people overthink, hesitate, or wait for the perfect moment, the 1% act. They understand that clarity often comes after you start moving, not before. Fear is the main enemy here. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of making a mistake. These are the invisible chains that keep most people stuck. The 1% feel fear too, but they don't let it dictate their actions. Instead, they ask, what's the worst that can happen? And then focus on the potential rewards, not just the risks. Consider entrepreneurs like Elon Musk or Sarah Blakely. They didn't wait until they had every answer before launching their ideas. They moved forward, learned along the way, and adjusted their strategies. That's the secret. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunities. You could never have predicted from the starting line. The 1% also understand the cost of inaction. Every day you delay making a decision is a day lost. A day when someone else might seize the opportunity you're hesitating on. They live by the principle that imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. This doesn't mean they act recklessly. They do their research, calculate risks, and then move forward with confidence. They know that mistakes are not permanent failures, they're tuition fees for the school of success. Every wrong turn provides valuable data that makes the next move smarter. Draw my money tip: you can't steer a parked car. Start moving, and you'll find the right direction along the way. Once you learn to act decisively, the next principle of the 1% mindset is about persistence, because bold action means nothing if you quit the moment things get hard. Principle 6: develop unshakable persistence. If there's one quality that the top 1% guard like treasure, it's persistence. Talent can open the first door, luck can give you a boost, and knowledge can give you an advantage. But persistence is what gets you through the inevitable storms on the road to success. The 1% understand that the journey is not a straight line. It's a series of challenges, setbacks, and moments when giving up seems easier than pushing forward. The difference is that they push forward anyway. When a deal falls through, they look for the next one. When a business idea fails, they take the lessons, adjust, and try again. They don't treat obstacles as stop signs, they treat them as detours. That's why you rarely hear someone in the 1% say, I tried once and it didn't work. They keep trying until it does. Consider Thomas Edison. He famously tested over 10,000 different materials before inventing the light bulb. When asked about all those failures, he simply said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the 1% mindset in action. The belief that every setback is feedback, not a final verdict. The average person tends to quit after a few failed attempts, telling themselves, it's not for me or it's too hard. The 1% see that as the moment to double down because they know that greatest rewards often come right after the point where most people give up. Principle 7. Think in abundance, not scarcity. The 1% operate from an abundance mindset. The belief that there are more than enough opportunities, resources, and possibilities for everyone to succeed. This doesn't mean they ignore competition. It means they don't fear it. They believe success is not a pie where 1% slice makes yours smaller. In fact, they often collaborate with competitors, share ideas, and build networks that create more value for everyone involved. The scarcity mindset, on the other hand, is what keeps most people stuck. It whispers, if they win, you lose. It makes people hoard information, avoid sharing credit, and hesitate to take risks because they're afraid of losing what little they have. The 1% reject that thinking completely. They know that money can be made, relationships can be built, and skills can be developed endlessly as long as they keep moving forward. For example, look at successful investors. They don't panic when the market dips because they see downturns as buying opportunities. Entrepreneurs with an abundance mindset don't stress when a competitor launches a similar product. They focus on how to make theirs better or how to reach a different audience. You've just learned the 7 core principles that define the mindset of the 1%. Taking full responsibility for your life, having absolute clarity on your goals, valuing, and mastering your time, feeding your mind with quality input, acting decisively without fear, developing unshakable persistence, and thinking in abundance, not scarcity. Now here's the truth. Knowing these principles is not enough. The difference between the 1% and everyone else is not just that. They understand these ideas, it's that they live them every single day. They turn these principles into habits, and those habits into results. You don't need to be born into wealth or have the perfect circumstances to start. You can begin today, exactly where you are by applying just one of these principles in your life. Maybe it's taking responsibility for your finances. Maybe it's finally setting a crystal clear income goal. Or maybe it's deciding to replace 1 hour of scrolling with 1 hour of learning a valuable skill. Small, consistent actions compound into massive results over time. Imagine yourself 12 months from now, having applied the 1% mindset every day. You're more focused, more disciplined, more confident, and your results reflect it. You're making better decisions, seizing more opportunities, and moving closer to the life you've always wanted. That's not a fantasy, it's a choice you can make right now. So here's your challenge. Pick one principle from today's video and put it into action within the next 24 hours. Don't just think about it, do it. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. If this video inspired you, hit the like button, subscribe to Draw My Money, and share it with someone who's ready to think and live like the 1%. And remember, success doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design, and your design starts today.